Ep 15th. Knife in the dark. Bonds in the light. Sultan Ruknuddin Barbak Shah's voice trembles with gratitude as he faces Muhammad Shah and Foizullah Khan in his grand hall. Your swift aid in my darkest hour humbles me, he says, eyes weary from sleepless nights. I thank Allah for this mercy. Muhammad bows, voice steady. Your Majesty, we're honored to serve. The Sultan, desperate, probes Foizullah. Have you explained the crisis? Foizullah nods. Every detail, sire. Turning to Muhammad, the Sultan asks, what support can you offer? Muhammad's reply is bold yet humble. It's not how much we can do, but how much you need. We can fight beside your army or face the enemy alone. The Sultan, stunned, presses, alone? Muhammad's faith shines. Never alone. Allah is with us. The Sultan marvels. Subhanallah, you'd fight single-handedly? Muhammad affirms, with your command, we're ready. Our numbers are few, but our spirit is boundless. Allah's will decides victory. The Sultan, moved, admits his plight. I'm helpless. Gajapati's forces advance, and my troops are scattered. Nobles like Kedar Ray and Bat Ray hide in the capital, useless. My palace guards and loyal fighters like Azmal Khan are all I have. Foizullah reassures him. Ghazi's aid is certain, even if your supplies falter. The Sultan, voice breaking, pleads, do all you can, I'm at your mercy. Muhammad rises resolute. Don't despair, sire. Order us and we'll face the enemy. His voice surges with purpose. We're here to serve the helpless and uphold Islam's honor. No disgrace will stand while we breathe. The Sultan, entrusting Muhammad with liberating Saptagram and Garh Mandarin, says, tell Ghazi I await his aid to secure Bengal's future. May Allah grant you victory. He personally escorts Muhammad to the guest house, ordering lavish hospitality. But the guest house becomes a circus. Servants swarm, tripping over each other with rosewater, incense, and trays. Their zeal turns. Chaotic bowls clatter, fists fly, and food spills. Muhammad, overwhelmed, steps outside, baffled by the frenzy. They're so eager to serve, yet so clumsy, he mutters, half amused. Then a chilling sight. Cats eating the spilled food collapse, writhing. Then still. Poison. Muhammad's blood runs cold. This was meant for him. Before he can react, a scream pierces the night. A masked man lunges with a dagger but collapses, a blade in his back. A stranger, Abdul Hakim, urges, come, sir, you're not safe. Handing Muhammad his sword, he pleads, trust me. Muhammad, gripping the blade, demands, who are you? Abdul, a palace guard, insists, no time, enemies are among the guards. They flee to the Khas Mahal, dodging shadows where danger lurks. In a quiet chamber, Muhammad meets Dilruba Banu, who unveils herself, her presence a shock. You didn't keep your promise to find me, she teases, but her eyes hold warmth. As Muhammad grapples with the night's chaos, Sultan Barbak, Foizullah, and Imam Hatim Shah burst in, frantic. You're safe, alhamdulillah, the Sultan cries. Enemies surround us. They rush out to hunt the conspirators, leaving Muhammad reeling. Dilruba explains her presence. After the Ilyas Shahi dynasty's fall, survivors like Imam Hatim, her father, scattered. Hatim, a potential heir, hid in a village, becoming an imam. Sultan Barbak, seeking kin, found them in Kantakdwar. Despite Hatim's reluctance, the Sultan's plea brought them here. Dilruba's attempt to inform Muhammad failed when her messenger fell ill. The plot against Muhammad unravels. Fool Bibi, Dilruba's loyal maid, learned from Golab Jan, wife of guard Korban Ali, that he and nobles planned to poison Muhammad. If that failed, a dagger would strike. Hatim alerted Abdul Hakim, his kinsman, who thwarted the attack, killing Korban Ali. But the masterminds, Basant Mishra, Pat Ray, Kedar Ray, remain hidden. Golab Jan, who knew their names, was found slaughtered. Muhammad and Dilruba, shaken, sit late into the night, their bond deepening amid danger. Hatim returns, defeated. The true enemies escape us, he sighs. Muhammad, resolute, knows the fight is far from over. Ep 16th. Old warriors, new battles. The old warrior Trishanku Gatgatali roars, his voice rattling like dry bones. Scared, Pir Baba, I'll take on those enemies single-handed. Niyamat, another grizzled fighter, snaps back. Why stay quiet? We train hard every day, twisting our hands in drills. But what's the point if we don't test these skills? He gestures at his weathered hands. We've fought before, but never got a real chance to prove ourselves. If a golden opportunity comes, why should we miss it? Gatgatali nods, fiercely. Exactly. Our hands and feet are itching for action. They've tasted blood before, but it's been too long. Give me a fight, or these old bones won't hold together. Niyamat Ka adds, voice heavy. I've killed ordinary men. Innocents even, but never a true enemy of Islam. If I die without facing one, I'll carry that regret to my grave. Their plea reaches Shah Ismail Ghazi, who's just heard Muhammad Shah relay the Sultan's desperate call from the capital. Gajapati's forces loom large, and this won't be a standard battle. It demands lightning-fast, high-risk combat, requiring only the sharpest warriors. Ghazi decides to form an elite squad from his skilled Arab companions, dismissing untrained recruits like Amarnath and Chandranath. Initially, he excludes Gatgatali and Niyamat Ka, deeming them unfit for such grueling warfare. The decision sparks an uproar. Gatgatali and Niyamat Ka storm in with their followers, furious. We've sat idle too long, they argue. This fight's our chance. We're tough. We're ready. Their passion sways Ghazi, who relents and orders Muhammad Shah to include them and Abu Tahir in the force. A list is drawn, 125 hand-picked fighters, excluding a few left to guard the base. At the parade ground, Muhammad Shah leads the march, while Miya Mutalib's small scout team races to southern Bengal to gather intel on Gajapati's movements. Mutalib returns swiftly with critical details. Most factors favor Ghazi's side, but two stand out. First, Gajapati's army is massive, bolstered by Utkal's king Kapilendra and anti-Islamic nobles from southwest Bengal. Gajapati, bloated with confidence, has declared himself Gaudapati and vows to seize Gaur's throne within a month. Ghazi's team shrugs off the numbers, hundreds or thousands. It's irrelevant when strategy trumps size. The second issue is Gajapati's fortress in his capital. Built not of stone but solid brass, it's a colossal, impregnable stronghold. Stocked with supplies, it could shelter Gajapati's army for months, untouchable by any foe. Mutalib, digging deeper, learns this was Kapilendra's idea, born from past humiliations. Years ago, Kapilendra barely escaped Garmandaran's fortress after Sultan Nasiruddin Mahmud Shah's forces crushed him. Fleeing through dark, treacherous paths, he swore never to be so vulnerable again. Gajapati, initially skeptical, embraced the plan, fearing Bengal's army might strike with loyal commanders like Amir Khan or Ikrar Khan, turning his victories, built on betrayals, into dust. Ghazi calls in engineers and physicists from Beiti al-Hikmah. They study Mutalib's description of the fortress's structure and chuckle. Don't worry, they say. Science isn't so weak that Gajapati's craftsmen can outsmart it. The army, now 120 strong after 5 dropouts, prepares. Gatgatali, despite his zeal, collapses during the brutal drills, his frail body no match for the pace. 2 middle-aged novices and 2 weaker youths also fall out. The rest, hardened, trained by Arab experts, stand firm, ready for battle. With a thunderous takbir, Ghazi's camp shakes. Hooves pound the earth as 119 riders, led by Ghazi, Muhammad Shah and Mutalib, charge toward Garmandaran. They pause at Lakhnauti, where Ghazi secures the Sultan's blessing before racing toward Saptagram. At Saptagram, Gajapati's guards, Basant, Mishra, Balasi Ray, Kedar Ray, Ananta Sen, Narayan Das, and Vishwas Ray, laugh hysterically. 120 fakirs against Gajapati? They mock. Cockroaches challenging a mad elephant. They assume Ghazi commands thousands, but learning it's just 120, their laughter grows wilder. Let's see how long this farce lasts, Kedar Ray sneers. In Gajapati's court, the mood is triumphant. Ministers and generals praise him as Bengal's conqueror, destined to rule from sea to Himalayas. Gajapati, basking in glory, boasts, about his brass fortress. His astrologer calls it a cosmic vault, impregnable. The royal poet likens it to Bahula's bridal chamber, flawless. But the priest, Govindalal, objects, sensing ill omens. This is divine, he insists, comparing Gajapati to Indra. A guard bursts in, trembling. Disaster, he cries. Fakirs are coming to slaughter us. Chaos erupts. Gajapati demands clarity, but the guard babbles about spies and his big relative Rakohari. The spy chief arrives, confirming 120 fakirs are advancing. The court laughs again, dismissing it as a joke. Gajapati vows to crush them. But the queen, collapsing in the palace, begs Gajapati to make peace. They're God's soldiers, she pleads, citing astrologers' warnings of divine power. Gajapati scoffs, calling her mad, and orders her restrained. He commands his general to capture the fakirs alive for sacrifice at the temple to prove they're frauds. As sunset nears, a soldier stumbles into court sobbing. Saptagram's lost, he wails. Ghazi's fakirs stormed the garrison, killed the guards mid-revelry, and seized the city. The administration surrendered, traitors were executed, and the Sultan's flag flies again. Now, Ghazi's force races toward Garmandaran. Gajapati, enraged, grabs his sword and storms out, shouting, "To arms!" Ghazi's lightning strike at Saptagram stunned the enemy. His men, moving like a whirlwind, cut down unprepared troops before they could arm themselves. With Saptagram secured, Ghazi sets his sights on Garmandaran, his horses thundering toward the next fight. Ep 17th lightning strikes and fallen forts. Shah Ismail Ghazi, fresh from raising the flag at Saptagram, rallies his warriors. Garmandaran's next, he declares, eyes blazing. His elite squad of 119 riders thunders toward the fortress, hooves shaking the earth like a storm. Word of Saptagram's fall spreads like wildfire, with rumors swirling. These aren't mere fighters, but divine soldiers, sent by Allah to crush tyrants. The tale grows taller. Ghazi's men are unstoppable, wielding heavenly power. Saptagram buzzes with fervor. Devout Muslims armed with spears, sticks, and zeal flock to join Ghazi's cause. Even non-Muslims, choked by Gajapati's rule, rush to his side. Hidden Sultanate soldiers, long in hiding, emerge to lead this swelling volunteer army. The crowd surges toward Garmandaran, growing with every mile. Villagers line the roads, cheering, some grabbing bamboo poles to join the march. Allah's men are coming, they shout, half in awe, half in frenzy. By the time the caravan nears Garmandaran, it's a human sea, too vast to measure, chanting Ghazi's name. At Garmandaran, Gajapati's troops, clueless about Saptagram's loss, lounge in mockery. Fakirs, ha, we'll crush those beggars, they sneer. But Ghazi's Arab steeds crash upon them like lightning. The enemy scrambles half-armed as Ghazi's men strike with surgical precision. Wave after wave, they dive like hawks, shredding Gajapati's ranks before vanishing into the chaos. The enemy, vast but disorganized, can't regroup. Bodies pile up before the fortress gates. Gajapati's allies, overwhelmed by Ghazi's speed, collapse under relentless assaults. As the volunteer horde closes in, panic grips Gajapati's generals. Whispers of millions approaching spark terror. A cry of "Flee!" erupts from one corner, mistaken as the horde's arrival. Generals scream, "Run! Save yourselves!" Gajapati's army scatters, fleeing in all directions. Ghazi's riders, swift as wind, hunt them down. Few escape. The fortress, undefended, falls. Corpses stack like hills inside and out. Ghazi's men raise takbir, their victory absolute. The massive crowd arrives, awestruck. Allah's soldiers. They cry, convinced only divine aid could fell such odds. They swarm Ghazi, chanting his name, hunting down straggling enemies. Ghazi, undeterred, sets his sights on Gajapati's capital. The real enemy awaits, he roars. The sea of followers trails him, singing victory. In the capital, Gajapati, shaken by Saptagram's fall, rallies his remaining forces. Most of His army is gone, scattered across Saptagram and Garmandaran. With a skeleton crew and one general, he marches toward Garmandaran, sword in hand, but a fleeing soldier intercepts him. "Don't go, Maharaj! It's a death trap," he gasps. "Garmandaran's lost, everyone's dead." Gajapati, stunned, presses forward to a hilltop. Below, he sees a graveyard of his men, with Ghazi's horde chanting Allahu Akbar. His heart sinks. His general urges, "To the capital now." Gajapati flees, half-conscious as a spy warns, "Millions march this way." Panic engulfs the capital. Gajapati screams, "To the fortress." He herds his court soldiers and citizens into his brass stronghold, slamming the gates shut. Ghazi arrives to a ghost city, spotting the gleaming fortress. He circles it, no entry. His scientists smirk. "No worries, sir. Melt the brass, and we're in." Ghazi grins. "Why stop at the gate? Let's melt the whole thing." The crowd gathers wood, entire trees, piling them around the fortress like a pyre. Flames roar, hellfire encircling the brass walls. Scientists sprinkle a mysterious powder, and the fortress ignites, melting into molten streams. The structure collapses, its occupants burned or crushed. Gajapati and his general, captured, are torn apart by the enraged mob before reaching Ghazi. King Kapilendra, meant to aid Gajapati, hears of Saptagram's fall and marches from Utkal. But Garmandaran's collapse revives old fears. Terrified, he flees back home, abandoning Gajapati. Ghazi, raising the Sultan's flag in the capital, returns to Garmandaran. The victory cost 3 lives, 2 local recruits and 1 Arab companion. Abu Tahir, gravely wounded, and Muhammad Shah, lightly injured, survive. Ghazi weeps beside the fallen, vowing to join them in martyrdom one day. After their burial, he carries Abu Tahir to Lakhnauti. Sultan Ruknuddin Barbak Shah throws a grand feast, showering Ghazi's men with gifts. At the palace, Imam Mahiuddin Hatim Shah seeks Muhammad Shah's care for his daughter, Dilruba Banu, who's desperate to nurse him, grateful for his past kindness during a plague. Dilruba, learned and stubborn, insists on helping. Ghazi learns, her story impressed by her devotion. Sultan Barbak urges Ghazi to join his army, but Ghazi declines, pledging to fight for Bengal's safety without formal ties. Instead, he accepts a new fortress near Kanthakdwar, a base for his mission to serve humanity. Ep 18th. Heart's reckoning. Muhammad Shah, wounded but healing, steps into Imam Mahiuddin Hatim Shah's home, only to find Dilruba Banu waiting anxiously at the gate. She's been pacing since the Imam left to fetch him, her eyes darting between the house and the road. As they cross the threshold, Dilruba gasps, "Oh Allah, what a disaster, half your head's gone." Muhammad chuckles, "Not at all. For a warrior, this scratch is nothing. Allah's mercy will fix me in days." Dilruba, unconvinced, snaps, "Days? You think I'm a fool? That gash nearly took your skull and it'll just vanish?" Muhammad shrugs. "What can I do? Battles leave marks. Can't stop fighting over a cut." The Imam chimes in, "Exactly. This is warrior stuff, Dilruba. You wouldn't get it." Stung, Dilruba retorts, "What wouldn't I get?" The Imam stammers, "You're acting like Muhammad chose to get hurt. It's just a battle wound. What's he supposed to do?" Dilruba's voice hardens. "So he hides it? Sneaks into the capital like he's got no friends here? No one who cares? You think we wouldn't hear about this massive wound? That we'd sleep soundly knowing you're hurt?" Muhammad, puzzled, says, "Hiding? Me?" Dilruba's tone sharpens. "Yes, hiding. You've been here days acting like a stranger. No courtesy visit, nothing. Last time you didn't know we were here, so fine, you stayed at the guest house. But this time, you knew we were here, yet you avoided us. We had to drag you here." The Imam, alarmed, scolds, "Dilruba, he's our guest." But she presses, "If he's so distant, is this how guests act?" Muhammad, stunned, says, "What are you saying?" Overwhelmed, Dilruba flees inside, tears brimming. Muhammad turns to the Imam, bewildered. "What's got her so upset?" The Imam sighs. "She's stubborn, that's all." When she heard you were hurt, she lost it. She's been hounding me. Why didn't I check on you? She thinks I've got no gratitude. Her heart's good, but her pride's fierce. She believes you have to visit us. Don't take it to heart. Mohammed's mind swirls as he's led to a bright, airy room, perfect for recovery. Servants prep it swiftly, and Dilruba, now composed, oversees the bedding herself. The imam heads to his prayer room, leaving Dilruba in charge. Mohammed lies back, lost in thoughts of home, war, and Dilruba's fiery words. Soon, a servant and Dilruba enter with breakfast. Her face, once unveiled, is now covered by a burqa. Mohammed notices, silently pondering the shift. As the servant leaves, Dilruba, sitting quietly, says, "Please eat." Her soft tone catches him off guard. He replies, "Why so quiet?" She hesitates, then whispers, "I was wrong. I spoke out of turn. Please forgive me." Mohammed sits, up surprised. "Forgive? You're my host. I'm the one who should apologize." Dilruba admits, "I was a mess earlier." He presses, "Why talk like I'm a stranger?" She gives a faint smile. "Your clothes scream outsider. Anyone would think we're strangers." Her voice steadies. "But honestly, there's something between us, isn't there?" Mohammed's gaze sharpens. "Meaning?" Dilruba's emotions spill. "I never imagined you'd reach this palace and not see me for days. My pride, my hopes, shattered. You crushed them." Mohammed interrupts. "Dilruba, I can't even face my servant Full Bibi with pride anymore. You think I don't care? The city's buzzing with tales of our victories, but I'm just a silent bystander. The heroes everyone cheers for include me, yet I can't boast. It eats at me." Dilruba pauses, then says, "Finally, I got a guest worth hosting. My heart's plea wasn't ignored." She adds, "Tending a warrior's wounds brings joy you'll never understand. You're heartless." She turns away, fighting tears. Mohammed, flustered, paces the room, muttering, "What's happening?" After a tense silence, Dilruba wipes her eyes and says, "I ruined your breakfast with my nonsense. I promise I won't trouble you again. Please eat." Mohammed stops her. "You've said plenty. Now hear me. If you don't, this food won't go down." She nods. He continues, "I like you a lot. Your heart's pure. If I'm not wrong, you feel my heart isn't stone either. What stirs you stirs me. If not for the imam's call, I wouldn't be here, ignoring everyone's stares. But I'm not just Mohammed Shah. I'm a soldier under command, a cog in a disciplined machine. I have no personal will. Breaking rank, even slightly, brings dire consequences." Dilruba listens, realizing his duty's weight. Mohammed adds, "My comrades, even my uncle, are with me. I can't just rush here without reason. The imam's invitation was my only excuse, and I've already visited multiple times. Without a valid cause, how do I justify coming? What do I tell my uncle?" Dilruba feels a pang of shame, swallowing hard. Mohammed says, "I can't bear my heart like you, but believe me, I'm no liar. When I turned my horse toward Lakhnauti, you were my first thought. Your face lit my path." Dilruba, overwhelmed, begs, "Forgive me. I was wrong. Please stop." She stands, hands clasped, pleading. Mohammed teases, "The imam got me here, or I'd have missed you. Maybe I'd have sneaked in later." Dilruba pleads, "Enough, please." He laughs. "Humans err. Forgiveness exists, especially for the repentant. You're forgiven. Now eat with me." She refuses until he insists. She freshens up. Smiling, she leaves, promising, "This is payback." Days pass. Dilruba tends Mohammed diligently. One day they visit the wounded Abu Tahir, bonding over stories. As Mohammed's departure nears, Dilruba says, "A soldier's life is uncertain. Allah knows what's next. If I face hardship, I'd rather burn brightly than flicker out." Mohammed, puzzled, asks, "Why say this?" She replies, "I want to live proudly with Shah's identity, not hide in shame. If the future calls, I'll face it boldly." A guard interrupts. Shah Ismail Ghazi summons Mohammed immediately. He rises, joking, "Let me answer Chacha John first, then you'll get your reply." Dilruba laughs. I'll hold you to it. Don't vanish. Mohammed salutes. Never. God protect us. She watches him go, eyes fixed on his path. In Ghazi's chamber, Mohammed finds him poring over papers. After a warm greeting, Ghazi asks about his health. Mohammed assures him, he's fine, thanks to the physicians. Ghazi mentions he almost visited but didn't want to disturb. Mohammed wishes he had. The conversation shifts. Ghazi reveals Sheikh Masood arrived from Astana, driven by rumors of Abu Tahir's grave wounds. Exaggerated tales claim he's near death, sending Abu Tahir's sister Abida into hysterics. Ghazi sighs. This is love, an affliction. It's sacred, but it cripples a warrior's life. Love that hinders greater good is a poison. Mohammed shrinks, sensing what's coming. Ghazi asks about Dilruba, praising her knowledge and virtue. She saved your life once and now she's tending you tirelessly. True? Mohammed nods. Ghazi's tone hardens. Does she love you? And you? Do you feel for her? Mohammed, trembling, admits yes. Ghazi's face stays calm, but his voice grows heavy. Proposals come indirectly through Imam Hatim Shah. You've let this happen. Love's no crime, but you're a soldier. Your life isn't yours. Why didn't you think? Ghazi's voice turns steel. Your love strikes at my troops. Discipline, an unforgivable sin. I'm ordering you to leave for Arab lands by sea. You've lost your place here. Mohammed pleads, Chachajan, forgive me. Ghazi roars. No one in my ranks can break our ideals for personal gain. We're here for faith and service, not homes or love. You knew this, yet you betrayed us. Mohammed, broken, begs forgiveness. Ghazi softens briefly, pained. You're learned, yet you falter. If others follow, what becomes of our mission? He offers two paths. Return to Arab lands or join Sheikh Masood's caravan to Astana with Abu Tahir. No more time here. Your actions defy our code. Marriage isn't your path. Not now. You've deceived an innocent girl. Mohammed, lifeless, accepts his fault. Punish me, I deserve it. Ghazi turns away. Meet me after Zur if you choose the sea. Otherwise, join the caravan. Mohammed hesitates, then leaves, stumbling like a condemned man, joining Masood's group for Astana, Epi 19th. Farewell and a new dawn. The day after Muhammad Shah's exile, Shah Ismail Ghazi pulls Sultan Barbak Shah aside for a quiet word. Sir, a humble request, Ghazi says earnestly. Barbak, intrigued, nods. Speak freely. Ghazi clears his throat. Imam Hatim Shah's daughter, Dilruba. She's of age. Please arrange her marriage soon. A pious man like the Imam deserves your attention on this. Barbak's eyes widen. What's this? Why bring this up now? Ghazi explains. A proposal came from my Muhammad Shah and Dilruba. It stirred things up. Barbak beams. Wonderful. A perfect match. I'll gift the groom myself. But Ghazi hesitates, voice low. Sir, I can't allow it. We're wanderers, serving the oppressed, with no homes or families. Muhammad's life isn't his own. I seek Allah's guidance on this. Barbak, stunned, protests. But Muhammad's young. Surely he can settle. Ghazi shakes his head. Our code is strict. If someone wants a family, they leave the group, return home, and live as they choose. Discipline comes first. If it crumbles, our mission fails. Please intervene before the Imam's hopes grow. Barbak, crestfallen, nods. I'll do what I can. Meanwhile, Abu Tahir, recovering but weary, arrives at the Pathargata camp with half the troop. He's walking a few steps now, and the physician's confident he'll soon move normally. Late that night, Sheikh Masood, Muhammad Shah, and their companions reach the camp. By morning, news spreads, and Abida Khatun, frantic, rushes to the camp with her father, Irfan Ali Mia. Abida's near hysteria, consumed by worry for Abu Tahir. Her grief, sleepless nights, no appetite, only tears, stems from a bond so deep, it's like they're siblings, sparing them societal gossip. Seeing Abu Tahir's progress and hearing his hopeful words, Abida calms, her face regaining color. But she insists on taking him home, refusing to let him stay at the camp. Irfan, yielding to his daughter's pleas, approaches Muhammad Shah, the group's second in command. "Please, let Abu Tahir come with us," he begs. Muhammad, torn, stays silent before saying, "I can't decide until Chachajan returns." Irfan, knowing no one else can help, reluctantly takes Abida home, scolding her gently to ease her distress. Muhammad broods over Abu Tahir's fate. The young man, fiercely loyal, joined the group years ago, never leaving despite opportunities. Now, love threatens to expel him. Ghazi's earlier words echo, "Abu Tahir's wasted." Muhammad dreads his uncle's harsh judgment. But when Ghazi returns from Lucknow, he surprises Muhammad. Meeting Irfan, Ghazi asks about Abida's state. Irfan, nervous, confirms she's better but desperate to care for Abu Tahir, repaying his past kindness. Ghazi smiles. A fair request. Her claims valid. He agrees Abu Tahir can go to Irfan's home as his wounds nearly healed with weekly physician visits. But he raises a concern. Your household's small with no servants. Abida would manage everything herself. And there's Sharia. Two unrelated adults can't live so closely. Irfan assures, Abida will observe Purdah. Ghazi chuckles. Why complicate things? Marry them. Problem solved. Irfan's stunned. Marriage? Ghazi nods firmly. Yes, Abu Tahir and Abida. It's what you want, isn't it? They're devoted. I'll cover all costs. Irfan, overwhelmed, recalls how Ghazi's group saved Abu Tahir, training him into a remarkable man. Doubting Ghazi's offer, he stammers, "You'll pay?" Ghazi laughs. "I'm the groom's guardian. Who else? Invite the nearby villages. We'll feast everyone." Irfan, elated, agrees to start preparations, vowing a grand wedding at the camp. Ghazi summons Muhammad Shah, explaining Irfan's situation. "Handle the arrangements here," he orders. Muhammad, voice flat, asks, "So Abu Tahir's leaving us?" Ghazi pauses, then explains, "He's not like us. We're outsiders bound by a mission destined to return home. Abu Tahir's from here with no such vows. He'll stay, build a life. His heart's with Abida, not our ideals. We can't force him." Muhammad sighs, silent. Ghazi, placing a hand on his shoulder, says, "Don't break, son. Allah guides us." The wedding unfolds with splendor, drawing crowds from nearby villages. Abu Tahir and Abida, radiant, depart for Irfan's home amid joyous cheers, the camp alive with celebration for days. But joy fades as Trishanku Gatgatal, an elderly warrior, falls gravely ill. Training alone, he collapses from a high ledge, half his aged body paralyzed. Camp members rush him to bed, but no physicians are present, delayed by a battle at Mandaran. When they return, Gatgatal's beyond help, his nerves dead. A day after the wedding, his condition worsens. Seeing Ghazi, Gatgatal weeps, "Pir Baba, I'm leaving, but not your path. Burn or bury me, but keep me near your camp even in death." Ghazi, voice steady, says, "Only Allah decides where we go after death. I'll pray for you." Gatgatal pleads, "Teach me Allah's words. Make me Muslim." Ghazi hesitates, wary of emotional decisions. "This needs a calm heart, Trishanku." Gatgatal, anguished, insists he's not impure, begging for Islam. Ghazi, torn, consults physicians, who confirm Gatgatal's mind is sound despite his body's decay. Old followers reveal his long-standing desire to convert, fueled by genuine zeal. Convinced, Ghazi gathers the camp, Muslims, Hindus, locals, and Abu Tahir included. Before all, he guides Trishanku, now Tashikur Rahman, to embrace Islam. The small ceremony sparks joy in Tashikur, who praises Ghazi as a divine man who lit my life, cleansed my heart, erased my fear of death. Hours later, Tashikur's breath falters and he passes, his soul slipping away like a freed bird. Grief engulfs the camp. Ghazi, silent, buries Tashikur beneath a banyan tree behind the camp's office, a site later called Gatgatal's Banyan by locals, awed by Ghazi's care for a simple santal. As morning lingers, Lucknow's streets burst with color. Amir Khan returns, trailing elephants, servants, and treasures from Tripura's king Ratnafa, honoring Sultan Barbak Shah. The city celebrates, but at the camp, a quiet sorrow lingers for a lost friend. 20th. Triumph and treachery in Lucknow. Lucknow's main streets burst with color as grand arches rise, decked in vibrant flowers and leaves. Crowds cheer, banners proclaim victory, and Amir Khan, the commander, returns with Tripura's new king, Ratnafa. Behind them march elephants and servants carrying baskets of jewels, gifts for Sultan Ruknuddin Barbak Shah. Tripura's royal clan, defeated after a brutal war, bows to Bengal's might. Amir Khan's triumph secures Ratnafa's throne, and in gratitude, the young king offers prized elephants and gems. The Sultan, delighted by a rare ruby, dubs Ratnafa Manikya, a title Tripura's future rulers will bear. For half a week the city celebrates, but a shadow looms. Barbak Shah's generosity sparked this victory, yet it nearly cost Bengal dearly. Sending troops to aid Tripura wasn't conquest-driven but a noble gesture. This idealism, however, trapped Amir Khan's forces in a prolonged war, exposing Bengal to threats from Utkal and other rivals. Only Shah Ismail Ghazi's earlier victory over Gajapati saved Bengal from collapse. Barbak, a scholar king, loves poetry and wisdom, but his obsession blinds him to political dangers. Flattered by courtiers, he risks Bengal's future, losing lives to reckless goodwill. A ruler drunk on ideals, he steers the ship of state toward storms, ignoring the helm. At a lavish literary gathering honoring poet Kritibas, a young Tripura prince, Ratnafa, seeks an audience. Plump and shy, he begs asylum, explaining his 17 brothers ousted him after their father, King Dangarfa, named him heir. Dangarfa, with 18 sons, tested their wits, finding Ratnafa sharpest. In one trial, as dogs charged their meal, only Ratnafa stood firm, tossing rice to distract them while finishing his food. Named king, he ruled briefly before his brothers. Plot forced him to flee. Barbak, moved but wary, hesitates. Bengal's enemies, Kamrup, Mithila, Chittagong, circle like wolves. Granting asylum risks war with Tripura's rebels. Poet Maladar Basu urges mercy, calling asylum a sacred duty. Scholars Raimukut and Bisharat agree, praising Barbak's compassion. But some courtiers like Bhattrai smirk, sensing opportunity. Bhattrai boldly suggests reinstating Ratnafa with a small force, claiming it'll burnish Barbak's fame. Most cheer, drowning out cautious voices. Swayed, Barbak assigns Faujadar Rafat Khan and troops to escort Ratnafa. Tripura's fierce warriors, backed by allies, crush the expedition. To save face, Barbak sends Amir Khan, whose victory restores Ratna but drains Bengal's strength. Amid the victory festival, Minister Baswak Mishra meets secretly in his garden with Batra Rai, Kedar Rai, and others. Furious, Baswak laments Tripura's fall, a blow to their hopes of weakening Bengal's Muslim rulers. They'd pinned hopes on Utkal's Gajapati, but his defeat by Ghazi crushed their plans. Kedar rages at Gajapati's collapse, calling him a coward who roared like a tiger but burst like a frog. They curse Kamilaraj and Trihut's kings for failing to rise. If Trihut had struck, Narain Das snaps, Bengal would have crumbled. Batra, sullen, admits their schemes faltered, blaming each other's inaction. The talk turns dark. Narain hints at assassinating Barbak, imagining his fall would topple loyalists like Amir Khan. Ananta Sen, alarmed, warned such chaos would doom them. Bishara Rai silences the bickering, urging unity. Kamrup's king alone could crush Bengal, Batra insists. If he moves, Trihut will follow. Resolved, Batra heads to Kamrup, Kedar to Trihut, vowing action over words. Bishara cautions secrecy, warning reckless talk invites ruin. The conspirators disperse, their faces alight with grim purpose. Meanwhile, loyalists like Dinbandhu Sarbabhauma grow uneasy, sensing rebellion. They confront Bishara Rai, who coolly dismisses their fears. If they succeed, it's our gain, he says. Stopping them risks our own ruin. Stunned, Dinbandu falls silent. Elsewhere, Dilruba Banu Begum remains unchanged, untouched by Muhammad Shah's exile, her calm unnoticed amid the intrigue. EP 21st, The Vanishing Promise. Dilruba Banu Begum's days hum with quiet joy, untouched by Muhammad Shah's sudden departure. Her calm masks any turmoil, unnoticed by those around her. At Imam Hatim Shah's home, Asif, a visitor, mentions Muhammad Shah left to meet his uncle, promising to return with answers for Dilruba. She gazes after him as he leaves, but he never comes back. By sunset, Dilruba paces, glancing outside, but Muhammad Shah is gone. At Maghrib prayers, Abdul Hakim, head of the palace guard, visits Imam Hatim on another matter. When Muhammad Shah's name arises, Hakim reveals he left Lakhnauti for Pathargata's stronghold before noon, half the troops with him, the rest, under Ghazi Ismail Shah, staying until morning. Imam Hatim, stunned, questions this sudden exit. Hakim knows no reason, assuming the Imam was informed. Dilruba, present, listens silently. The Imam, baffled, recalls Muhammad Shah's promise to return after speaking with his uncle. Hakim confirms seeing him leave, insisting there's no mistake. A heavy silence falls. Hakim urges investigation, sensing something amiss. Dilruba, rising, dismisses their worry. He broke his word, that's all, she says coolly. No need to fuss. Her words, sharp yet vague, leave Hakim puzzled. She retreats to her room, opens a book, and loses herself in its pages. Fool Bibi, her young attendant, rushes in, shocked to hear Muhammad Shah fled Lakhnauti. Dilruba, unfazed, shrugs. He didn't keep his promise, his choice. Fool Bibi, incredulous, presses, expecting regret. Dilruba denies any sorrow, admitting only pity for Muhammad Shah. Poor man, she muses. His life's burden is his alone. Fool Bibi, hesitant, hints at Dilruba's affection for him. Dilruba brushes it off. His fate is his, mine is mine. No use fretting. Fool Bibi, stunned by her apathy, calls her strange and leaves. Dilruba smiles faintly. Days later, Imam Hatim returns, crestfallen. Sultan Bahadur summoned him, revealing Muhammad Shah's uncle, Darvesh Shah Ismail, forcibly sent him to Pathargata. A marriage proposal between Muhammad Shah and Dilruba was rejected to preserve the group's discipline, forbidding personal ties. Muhammad Shah obeyed, leaving without farewell. Dilruba, listening intently, brightens. So that's why, she says lightly. No loss if ties can't be kept. The Imam mentions the Sultan's plan to arrange her marriage. Dilruba, unfazed, laughs. Let him handle it. I'm fine, Abba. Don't worry. Her resilience reassures him. On a rainy day, Dilruba reads a romantic tale to Fool Bibi, who's captivated by the hero's devotion. Pausing, Dilruba asks, "Have you ever loved someone?" Fool Bibi, caught off guard, blushes. Pressed, she admits, love is universal but laments its futility for the poor. Love in a poor heart is a crime, she says, her face darkening. Dilruba, intrigued, coaxes out her story. Fool Bibi, an only child from a modest family, loved Amin Uddin, a kind boy, from her village. Their bond, forged in a local school, grew into love over years. Tragedy struck. Amin's father and Fool Bibi's died in a plague, and her family's land was seized. Amin sheltered her, planning marriage, but enemies framed him for theft. Fleeing arrest, he vanished, promising to return. A cruel landlord tried to force Fool Bibi into marriage. She escaped with her mother to Amin's uncle's home, only to be sent to the capital as a maid. Now, serving Dilruba, she clings to hope for Amin's return. Dilruba, moved, swears secrecy, marveling at Fool Bibi's quiet strength. Soon after, Dilruba bursts into laughter, summoning Fool Bibi. "My wedding's set," she announces. Sultan Ruknuddin Barbak Shah, urged by Ghazi Ismail, is arranging her marriage to the Begum's cousin's son. Dilruba, thrilled, plans to meet the Begum to discuss it. Ful Bibi, wary, questions her eagerness. Dilruba, undeterred, insists on taking charge of her future. As Ful Bibi leaves, subdued, Dilruba's smile lingers, her heart alight with new possibilities, while whispers of rebellion from episode 20 stir in Laknauti's shadows. Ep 22nd Day Game of Hearts and Duty. Nurul Alam, the Begum's cousin's son, lives lost in chessboards, indifferent to the world beyond. His parents fret over his disinterest in marriage despite his age, pushing to find a bride for their handsome, noble son. When Sultan Barbak Shah takes an interest in Dilruba Banu Begum's marriage, Nurul's family sees a golden chance, not just for Dilruba's beauty and virtues, but for the favor of the court. They press the Begum relentlessly to make it happen. She can't refuse her cousin's plea. Nurul's no unworthy match. The Sultan approves, Imam Hatim eagerly agrees, and the elders nearly seal the deal. Only Dilruba's consent remains, and no one doubts she'll agree. Her heart, once drawn to Muhammad Shah, seems free of him now. His own actions severed that bond. No one's noticed any lingering attachment, so the path to her wedding appears clear. Still, the Sultan insists on confirming the couple's wishes, wary of forcing a union against their will. The Begum summons Dilruba to her private chamber. Veiled, with Ful Bibi by her side, Dilruba arrives promptly, her eagerness surprising the Begum. Earlier, the Begum spoke with Nurul, who's now in the outer room. She asks Dilruba if she's heard about the marriage plans. Dilruba, calm and clear, confirms she has and knows Nurul wants to speak with her. The Begum explains Nurul's concern. Is Dilruba truly over Muhammad Shah, free of any lingering thoughts? Dilruba laughs softly, saying it's wise to clear such doubts. No need to hide anything, she says, ready to talk. A curtain divides the rooms. Dilruba sits with the Begum. Nurul waits beyond. The Begum urges him to ask his question. Before he can, Dilruba speaks, her voice steady. She admits Ful Bibi thinks she's heartbroken over Muhammad Shah, but she denies it. Grieving does no good, she says. I pray for his safety instead. Her tone shifts, startling the Begum. Dilruba declares she doesn't dwell on Muhammad Shah. Her mind's made up. Marriage is in Allah's hands, she says, but if I have a say, it's Muhammad Shah or no one, that's final. The Begum gasps, stunned. Nurul, from behind the curtain, praises her honesty, wishing her happiness with Muhammad Shah, before quietly leaving. The Begum, crestfallen, scolds Dilruba for not speaking sooner. Dilruba retorts no one asked her opinion until now, and the Sultan promised her choice he would rule. Silence falls. The Begum, frustrated, questions Dilruba's devotion to a man who vanished, cutting all ties with no intent to marry. Dilruba defends him. He didn't betray her. He left out of duty, carrying his own pain. She admires his principles, his loyalty to his cause over personal desires. If he'd abandoned his ideals for me, could I respect him? She asks. Love, she insists, doesn't justify forsaking character. Her pride in Muhammad Shah's honor shines through. The Begum, unconvinced, dismisses her, saying their ways differ. Dilruba leaves with Ful Bibi, who's overjoyed by her resolve. What a heart you have, Ful Bibi exclaims, marveling at Dilruba's steadfast love. Dilruba smiles, wondering what she'd say if Muhammad Shah ever returned. Meanwhile, Sultan Barbak unveils a grand fortress, a symbol of safety, meant for Shah Ismail Ghazi and his men. Ghazi, a wanderer at heart, finds the palace stifling. His group, once vibrant volunteers from Arabia, grows idle, their zeal fading in the fortress's luxury. Local recruits tied to homes and families avoid relocating there. The old base at Pathargata's Kachari Bari remains, managed by Abu Tahir and Niamat Khan, handling local crises. Ghazi's main team stays in the fortress, ready to aid when needed, but their purpose wanes. Ghazi senses their mission, serving the needy, needs a new spark. He dreams of inspiring locals to embrace Islam's values, spreading brotherhood through education and service. Ghazi visits Kantakdwar, where locals urge him to live among them. He decides to buy land there, planning a khanqa for worship and a maktab for teaching children. The locals offer land for free, but Ghazi insists on paying, wanting independence. They agree to help build. Back at the fortress, Ghazi gathers his team, announcing a shift. Instead of waiting for disasters, they'll train locals to serve, reducing the need for a large group. Many, restless, choose to return home. Surprisingly, fewer than half leave. Loyalty to Ghazi holds them back. Muhammad Shah, unwavering, stays dedicated, showing no desire to leave or settle down. Ghazi, curious, summons him. "Why so silent?" Ghazi asks. Muhammad Shah, confused, learns Ghazi wonders if he wants to go home or start a family, now that their strict rules have eased. Muhammad Shah, visibly shaken, insists he'd never abandon Ghazi or their cause. His loyalty runs deep, tied by blood and duty. Personal desires, like love, don't sway him. His ideals come first. Ghazi, moved, praises his resolve, praying for his path to clear. Soon, Ghazi moves to Kantakdwar's khanqa with a few men, leaving Muhammad Shah in charge of the fortress. Muhammad Shah dives into work, leading his team across regions, building schools, aiding communities, and spreading knowledge. His days blur into a relentless cycle, unbroken except for Fridays and Saturdays when he handles administrative tasks. One Friday evening, Muhammad Shah sits atop the fortress's highest roof, staring at the setting sun. His gaze is steady, but his heart wanders to a world only he and Allah know, a quiet moment of longing hidden beneath his tireless duty.